we're referring to.
Okay, so the only issue on that then is if we discuss it as a bylaws thing, there's nothing that prevents it from being raised as a just a motion, not out of bylaws.
Yeah, well, I'm going to. In fact, I'm going to
council.
ask Brad if we can raise, put it on the agenda.
Yeah, if it's
Because
on the
there's
agenda.
actually there's only one thing we
Yeah.
can do. We have
Right.
to fill out an application.
Well,
That was the only thing I was going to say.
no, we have no. The thing is we could put it on the agenda to approve an amendment to our bylaws to change the boundaries,
Yes.
and that even
And to do the application to change the
there's an
boundary.
application.
Yeah,
to
I got it
boundaries.
right here. They sent it to me. I was totally unaware
But
of
we
it.
can't do that until the board does a proposed amendment to the bylaws to change the boundaries.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to ask Brad to do, to put it on
Right.
the agenda as
Right.
as
So,
yeah.
so we could have discussion today without.
No, we can't have a discussion.
Okay.
No, the district attorney said, no, you can't have a discussion.
He thinks because it says boundary issue.
Because
it's
it's not, I didn't completely spell out, it would become a Brown Act issue, so we're, you know.
Well-
And I emailed him back and says, thank you for the correction. We will not take that issue up today, and I will
Oh.
announce it at the top of the meeting, so I want to make sure that
Okay, well, it can just be put on the agenda as a board issue.
yeah, exactly. It's not going to change anything because it would have to go to the board as a board issue anyway.
Go to the board as a board issue. What I'm saying is if we don't vote on anything here today, we got
Oh, we are. We definitely are. This ratify the bylaws. Remember they did them, and right around the time we got elected.
Was that 2012?
No, that was 2013. And in fact, I've got both sets of bylaws. This is the new set of.
You have extra copies?
No, you can get them off the internet. They're right. Oh wait.
Those are the ones that are currently up on the internet?
Yeah, those are the ones that are currently up. Okay.
The ones that were put up last
You want
September? They're the ones put up last September?
Yeah. We had already ratified it, but we had to send it on to Dunn. And they came back, and remember a lot of people were saying, oh, they changed our bylaws and everything, and so I decided I would go over page by page, line by line. They really didn't change anything other than they made some pagination changes and and there's a couple of words here and there which better describes each one of those.
All right.
Hey Jerry, how you doing?
All right.
So,
How are you?
so we can do that, and we still can discuss the boundary issue as long as we don't make a motion or anything on it.
No motion will be coming. I had never planned on a motion coming out of this discussion, no matter what. So there was no action to be taken, really. I need one more person.
No, you don't. You got a quorum.
No, Jerry's not on the
Oh,
committee.
you're not on the committee?
No.
Who else? It's Anthony and
Anthony
John
and
and
So
Jim.
we have 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you have 20 minutes before I have to leave.
yeah, I
We
know.
have 3 out of 5. You have a quorum.
Okay.
Why don't
You
you
have a
write
quorum.
down? Quorum
Okay,
present.
okay.
You have 10, Dave, 5, 4.
Well, why do we need to ratify if we already have? Why do we need to do anything
It's
else?
just a procedural, and I'd rather do it right with the procedural and then pass it on, because a lot of people say, well, we shouldn't go along with this because they thought they thought Dunn had changed it. But after I read over it, I said, they didn't change anything.
So, are you going to simply point out what changes were made?
No, because the changes that were made were basically pagination.
Well, then,
So it's the same as the 2012.
Yeah, in fact, I've got
9/7/2012.
both copies. I've got both copies. This is the new bylaws, right here.
So it's exactly the same as the last one.
Yeah, almost. In
9/7/2012.
fact, yeah. In fact, I think the page count is almost the same too.
Well, I guess I just don't understand what we're ratifying if it's simply a matter of pagination Well,
I
if
think
it's,
he said that there
Well,
was
a lot of
no
people were under the
ratification,
mistaken.
Are you officially started?
apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Call the
I'm
order,
calling
we have
this
a
meeting
quorum.
to order at, what time is it?
I got 6:39.
Okay, 6:39.
You let me know where on the agenda public comment is.
Well, I don't see it.
I didn't have it down there. We almost never have anybody come to these
Well,
meetings.
that's all right.
Call to
So we're
order.
getting
Do you have any
board
public
members to
comment?
come.
But do you have any public comment?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
The first public comment has to do with done resolution that requires you email an agenda to everybody in your database.
No, it doesn't.
Hold on, let him finish.
Don't argue with me.
Okay.
You know, I got a copy of it right here if you want to
The
read it.
2012 resolution?
The 2012, but you now have 2014, so you actually got a little bit of leadway. It says you only have to get it to the stakeholders the day before.
No, that's not what it says.
Yes,
Go
it
ahead.
does.
Go ahead.
You read
Go
it.
ahead.
But anyway,
I have
needless
a
to
copy.
say, you are required to mail it out before the meeting. To the
It was changed.
hold on,
It was
hold on,
changed.
hold on. Before you did your agenda, you did not know it had changed. Okay, so you were bound by 2012. So, needless to say, I didn't get an email announcing the meeting with a link to the agenda as the done agenda posting resolution says. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about is why are you having a meeting tonight and yet not on your agenda are the March 6th board approved referral of revising the bylaws as a result of the grievance panel recommendations. There are 9 items on that executive committee report that need the bylaws and rules committee attention, and they're not on your agenda.
Why
And I'm
should they? Hold it. Let me answer your question.
I am not finished with my public comment,
Okay.
Mr. Mansker.
Oh, you were asking me a question. I thought I'd
you may
respond.
answer when I'm finished. So
Okay.
what I'm
2
saying,
minutes, right?
what I'm
minutes.
saying is, there's a bunch of items that should be attended to by this committee, and although they are not on your agenda tonight, I would hope that they will be on your agenda the next time you meet. Thank you.
Now, as for the information you were talking about, mailing of the agenda to stakeholders, there was a change, and it was a change made before I made out this agenda. Last week we attended the bank meeting, and at that bank meeting there is new information about postings, and right now Dave is reading that, and it says that there's only 2 places that we really need to if you have a website. That is Empower LA and their ENS to be posted there, and at our website. If we do not have a website, then you have to use those 5 locations that you had previously stated in your bylaws and on your cover page of your agenda. And this is within the last month, and it came from BUNC, Board of Neighborhood Commissioners.
More specifically, if you look at number, do you have a copy of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you look
it
at-
says May.
Yes.
It says
And
May.
anyone that deals
So-
with contract language knows the word may
May.
is different than for the word shall or
Okay,
must.
so let's talk about then the fact that best practices.
No,
for
no, we're
neighborhood-
not.
No.
You had, excuse me. We want to get on with this meeting, and I do not want to entertain any more comments
But you
from the
didn't put it up
floor.
to ENS either, according to this.
I did.
No notice came out.
It doesn't have to. It goes to the ENS. It's
Well,
posted
There's
there.
no ENS that came out announcing this meeting.
Well, I sent it to Aaron, and I asked Aaron to make
Aaron
sure.
doesn't do ENS. That's Dunn that does ENS. You have to send the agenda to Dunn, and they upload it to their ENS system,
That's true.
That's true.
Yes.
and that
You-
was not done.
If you didn't send it to Empower LA,
But I did post it in the other 5 locations, no matter
that's
what.
fine. It still should go to
Yeah,
ENS.
that was
Yeah.
good, and it got on the website. But no email, no
Okay,
EMS
but-
notification.
You may be right about the NS. Email is optional.
Yeah, but come on, best practices.
Look,
Mr. Bouvet,
Actually, let me make
Mr.
a comment here. I'm sorry. You know, the thing is I'm just a volunteer, okay? I put a lot of time volunteering. I'm supposed to be the head of another committee, and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't have the patience that these other gentlemen have. And I don't know that I'm going to ever call a meeting of the committee I'm on if I'm going to be put through all of this extra work. I have enough trouble at my office dealing with my day-to-day stuff from 8 in the morning till 7 at night. And I simply am letting you know that if you want to halt improvements in our community, if you want to interfere with it all, then keep doing what you're doing. I'm sorry, because I've been on a lot of boards, and we beg and plead people to go. So the fact that he didn't post something that does not affect anybody in the whole planet except you, apparently, and you're here, so you knew about it. The people who care can show up, okay? He's doing everything he can, but you are scaring volunteers away. And if that's what you want to do, you're accomplishing it really well. If you want to help, then please help. But saying best practices and saying that he could spend another bit of time doing this and another bit of time doing that, not everybody has time. Okay, not everybody has time to do everything that everybody else tells them to do. He's doing a really good job. He has spent a lot of time going through this, proofreading the thing, figuring out the differences. He's a volunteer, and it would be really nice, I know if you care about the community, that you can volunteer, but to tear it down, you're just going to make it so things don't happen. Things don't happen for our community. If that's what you want to accomplish, then keep doing what you're doing.
Okay,
May I respond,
let's
Mr. Mansker?
let's move on to
Mr. Mansker, may I respond?
what?
May I respond?
No. We want to move on. We got this business. He's got a meeting to go
I got
to.
10 minutes.
And everything, so I just want to get this here over with. As I said, the ratification is just a procedural thing that we need to go through, so Don knows that we received the bylaws. They're already posted on our website and everything else. We've been using them for a while now, but this is the first chance that the bylaws committee has had a chance to meet. So, without further ado, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve and ratify these bylaws to put them onto the board's agenda.
And they're the same. They're
They're identical the same. Like I said, I have both sets here, the old and the new, and I went over
I'll
them
make the motion.
3 times.
I'll second.
Okay.
To reread the motion, please.
The
That
motion. Go ahead.
that the bylaws be ratified and moved on to the council for final vote.
Okay, let me know when you're ready for public comment.
Okay, public comment.
How can a committee ratify the bylaws?
We're just
I
saying that
don't
we
think
approve.
the committee has the ability to ratify the bylaws.
The
That
bylaws-
is the board,
well-
that is the neighborhood council board that must ratify the bylaws.
It's gonna go to the neighborhood council
Council.
board. We're gonna bring the motion.
But that's not what your motion says. Your motion
Okay.
says this committee is going to
No,
ratify the
I'm sorry.
bylaws.
Okay, my motion. My motion is to put this on the agenda for the next board meeting and ask the board to ratify the bylaws and rules that were already on the website.
Thank you.
And Dave seconded it. Got
I
that?
accept that motion. Call for the question.
Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Any dissent? There's only 3 of us here, so yeah. Okay, motion passes. Okay, as I said, we really can't speak to the boundary issue, so that's off the table.
May I just ask though?
Yes.
And I will be happy, Eric, if you want some assistance in putting together the language for the next bylaws committee.
Sure.
So
I'd
we'll
love
pass
it.
muster.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Okay. I'd love
I
it.
thought that there were gonna be some folks from North Hills Western tonight.
They were. I did contact them and let them know that because the boundary issue is taken off the table, that we would not be able to discuss it or make anything. Because I think they were coming here thinking that we would be able to do something, but the truth is, no matter what, we wouldn't have been able to do anything because Dunn sent me these applications.
Let me see what that looks like.
Yeah, let me.
Well, don't we have to pass the motion first and then make the application done? Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah, what
The thing about it is, we already did that last year when when our councils both.
No, I don't think we did. You know,
We had no objection. That's right.
Well, but it's two separate things, and I keep coming back to this, and we had no opposition
Right.
to those folks between Lassen and Devonshire, between the 405 and Balboa, from making their case to change that area from North Hills to Granada Hills, and they were successful. The city council approved that.
Yeah.
That does not mean that the boundaries are changed or that we approved a boundary change.
Yeah, that's what these applications are.
Well,
for.
okay, but my understanding is that first we have to, as a committee, bylaws committee, make a recommendation to the board that the boundaries be changed to include that area.
Yeah.
Got it. Here's what we have to do. We have to do this at our next meeting, and here's why.
Yeah.
We have to have our board approve the boundary change, because on your application, attached to this petition, a copy of the revised bylaws of the neighborhood council with and without the proposed area.
Yeah.
So you can't even fill this out unless you also attach the bylaws with it and without it.
Yes.
So we just approved the bylaws today without it. I mean, not today, it'll be
Yeah,
approved
right.
next week.
Yeah.
What we have to do is also have the that the board approve the same bylaws
Yes.
with the boundary change.
May I make a suggestion that might be easier? We've already passed the motion to ratify the bylaws.
Right, that's okay, because we didn't have bylaws in that.
Right, okay.
That's fine.
But I would suggest that we just have another bylaws meeting next month, that we make a recommendation, if that's what the majority of the bylaws committee decides, to the board to change the boundaries. And then that would be at this is the June
It
meeting
would be a
coming?
June meeting coming
Well,
up.
at the July meeting, then the board could take that action. Instead of trying, it will confuse people if you say, let's ratify the bylaws as written, and okay, now let's change the bylaws.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
go ahead and ratify them this
Yeah.
month, do that formality, and then come back, and hopefully we'll have 5 people at a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a robust discussion. We can have the people who, from North Hills West, who want that change, explain it. And Mr. Kuzman here can take it all for
Yeah.
posterity.
Have them-
And Mr. McGovern who is the
Mr.
president of
McGovern, if he has
Northwest.
objections or has some observations,
Have-
he'll have an opportunity to do it.
Have those people, they'll show up at the next board meeting.
Yes.
Because there is something on the application that asks, did we have a public meeting to discuss it?
Well, all I'm
So-
saying is, Bonnie, we should just delay it to the July meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying at the June meeting, let those other people come and stay.
Oh, they will. They will. I have told them that
Because that's on the
because
application. Did you have public meetings? Was it
Well,
vented? Was there
but-
discussion?
But if we have them here at the bylaws meeting, and it's properly noticed, that is a public meeting.
Yeah.
So, and
But
then
we
they can come
definitely-
and make the same
so
case in
we
July
won't
at the
be
board.
able to. All right, so we can change
tell you
this.
what, Bonnie, go ahead and keep that. No, I can print up another
Oh,
set.
okay.
So you keep that, look it over.
All
Dave, I'll get a set to you, and I'll get a set to
Okay.
Anthony and Jim.
Okay, I just think that's the easiest way to do it, and that way we're not gonna confuse people.
Well, like I said before, I realized that we weren't going to be able to do much at this meeting anyway, just because all of a sudden Dunn sent me this
What did they
information.
say? This does not prevent this. Is Dunn saying that this is not complete enough? Is that why?
Yeah, it has to be fully flushed out. what the boundaries are.
What it should say is recommendation
Yeah.
to the board to change the boundaries
Right.
to such and such and such.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if, does that kind of a motion, the what if kind of thing, have to come out of bylaws? Or can't you ask them to just, because these
It
people have been
can, it
waiting
can
for a
go on
long
as, it can
time.
go on as a board issue.
Yeah, it can go on as a board issue.
Lonnie,
You just think it's too much for them
I
to deal with.
think,
in
not
one
only do I
meeting.
think it's too much, but I
All
don't
right.
think that we should move precipitously on this.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
It might be
I
because
really
this
believe-
is
All right.
shaping up to be a little bit of a fight because Mr. McGovern, who is now president of North Hills West, lives in that contested area.
Oh, no.
Yes,
So
him
he's-
and
I didn't
two,
know that. I
him
thought
and
they were
two
all
other
agreeable.
board members of the new North Hills West Council now live in that area.
So there's bound to be some
something that
contention.
they-
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jerry.
that's so sad.
I have just a request that would help out at the board meeting with the new bylaws. If there's any way you can get a red line run on this, and I'm speaking from my experience as the chair a few years back, when Dunn sent us some revisions, there were a lot of changes in at that time, but in some cases there was just a comma that was missing.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
changed
thought
to an
this-
or, and some very minor things that we had to deal with. That would be, speaking personally as a board member, I wouldn't be comfortable voting for it just based on the hey, they're the same. I'd like to see a red line. And
Well,
if
but
you've
he's
got
saying
word
that-
versions, of
Yeah,
it, it should
I did.
be
I went
easier
over it
to run.
twice. And the only thing I noticed, there was a little change in some pagination, but that was because they used different fonts.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the
That's what I'm
pagination
saying.
was different, and I went over it line by line, word by word, and except for one or two little words that changed the meaning to actually clarify, it was the same thing we had
Well,
already
it'd be
had.
helpful to be able to see it.
What Jerry is saying, and I think it would be a good idea, is to be able to
See those changes?
highlight those changes. Pagination, I don't think matters.
Yeah.
Okay, but if they change the actual grammar or the wording, then I think the board needs to know what they changed, because it could change the meaning. You know, if you change the word from may to shall, it changes.
Yeah, that's a big
it does
change.
Now,
change,
what
so-
we're talking about approving though, the last version that Dunn said this is it, is the one that's on the website.
That's the one that's on the website.
What is that from 2012?
This one here is from 2013.
2013.
Yeah, that's the one we voted on
Send
last
us
year.
that-
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Send
this
us
is the
that,
change between
like in September
2013 to this one
Yeah.
that they sent us.
Yeah.
Okay, and I had one on my computer from 9/7/2012.
Yeah, I have
What
that one.
about the one that the board approved March 6, 2011?
That was,
Where's that set of bylaws?
those bylaws, the March 6th is simply a template.
Is that the one that Mike did?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened, and you weren't in the loop at that point, I guess. Dunn.
I know, I told you about that. That's why I was
You
complaining
didn't-
last
you
year
didn't
that
have to tell me about
your
it.
bylaws
We
were
went
not
through
right.
it, okay. Dunn sent us
The template.
a template,
Right.
all right? Mike Cabo was appointed for about 8 or 9 different neighborhood councils to supervise, shall we say, the changes in the bylaws. We went through that template, we made the changes. The original template was marked up as March, but the approval wasn't until the following year in 2012.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing March 5th, 2011, that's simply the language, that's simply the date on the template.
I'll say the lineage on that wasn't even clear to me because there was at one point something that we voted on and approved, and then went to Dunn, and then it came back and said, here, we made changes to what you approved, and here it is back.
And that's what
then-
Eric is saying, he's gone
Yeah.
through those changes, but
I'm curious.
Well, this goes
I-
back to 2012.
In the beginning, I heard a number of people say they did this and they did that, and so I went to see what it was. I was going to mark it up, and I kept saying,
that
"Wait a
clear?
minute, where's all
So
this
you
change?"
are
I'd just like
comparing
to see what the
What's
markups
on the
were on
website
that
with
and
this
how it
of
came back
9/7/2012?
afterwards.
Uh,
what
this is
Dunn
what
changed.
I-
No, this is the latest one.
Well, that's what
this
he
is the
said.
latest
I
one.
trust
What happened
And
was
I
we
went over
sent
my
in.
old one.
I'm not going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's all right.
But anyway, I went over my old one,
Although I have another meeting.
and
No, it's okay.
other than the fact that the
I just
font
want-
was
I just
different,
want a
and
copy of that
I
draft
think
that
there
was
may
written
have been
on,
a few
so
little
I can see.
difference, but I couldn't see any real
Might ask
difference
Mike
to.
Cable.
Try-
You might still have the original
I would just be
template.
surprised if
And
they
on
didn't
top of that,
Yeah.
if we don't.
Guys, I have to go.
All right,
Okay.
all right, so that's it.
That's going to adjourn.
All right.
Oh, I so move.
And what
Second.
time is it? Second?
Adjourn.
1 minute
All
to
in
6:59.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Sorry, guys, I had to run, but.
No, I
All
understand.
right, so that'll be, just out of curiosity, this is just up to you. Do you want to compare this one with what was the other
I'll
one?
see y'all later.
It's been continuously the same one. Just, that might be, if people ask questions, that might be useful.
Yeah.
You can have mine. I printed it today out of my computer.
And that's the one that's on the website right now?
No, I printed it.
Oh, that's the old one.
I printed it from something that
Thanks,
was
Eric.
put in my computer, probably
Okay.
somebody sent it. It says 9712. So I'm just